Welcome back to the channel. So in this video we are continuing our FreeCodeCamp walkthrough series, and for this particular one we are going to be building this that you see right here, this sort of piano icon here. And if I should shrink the screen, see what turns out. It becomes the smaller version of the piano. And if the screen is large, see what happens. It becomes a larger version of the piano. So by building this, we'll be learning all about responsive web design. So let's get started. It's going to be 33 steps. Let's get started with step 1. All right, so like we always do, we are going to start with our doc type declaration, and this is going to tell our browser the kind of document it is reading. In this case, the document is an HTML document. Okay, so also add our HTML element. So let's give our HTML element a lang attribute with the value en, which stands for English. Okay, so let's also add our head like so. Then let's add our body element like so. Okay, so add a doc type declaration, we've done that, and HTML head, body, and title element. Okay, so let's add a title element inside our head, like so, title. Okay, and the text we want to give the title is piano. All right, so that's going to be it for this step. Let's move on. Okay, so now we want to add 2 meta tags. So let's add the first one, and let's give it a char set with an attribute of UTF-8. Let's also give a meta okay, just a moment. I want to go copy the other meta element, so I'll say I'll come here. Okay, yeah, so this is what I want. I'll just copy this right here, and then let me paste it here. Okay, so for this one, we are using it to optimize the page for mobile views, right? So we have an attribute of name with viewport as the value, and then we also have a content attribute which has this value here. Okay, so you can just copy it. All right, so let's move on. So for step 3, time to start working on the piano. All right, so we want to create a div like so, and we are going to set the ID to piano. Okay, next up, we also want to nest a second div inside our first div that we created, and this second div will have a class. The value of the class is going to be keys. All right, so moving on, within your .keys class, which we have here, so within it, we want to add 7 div elements. Give them all the class key singular. So we have div, we bring our closing div tag, and we want to give it a class of key singular. Okay, so I'm going to use a shortcut to repeat it 7 times. So the shortcut I'm using is Option Shift, and then I'll click down. Option Shift and then down. If you're on Windows, Alt Shift and then down. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. All right, so next up, we want to. All right, so remember that a class attribute can have multiple values. To separate your white keys from your black keys, you add a second class value of black key. Okay, so once again, this is what we are building. Okay, and we want to, so there's it. When you look at it carefully, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, then start again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let me shrink it so that you see what I'm talking about. All right, so if it's like this, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so there's the white keys and there's the black keys. So let's go ahead and yeah, remember that the class attribute can have multiple values. To separate your white keys from your black keys, you add a second class value of black key. Add this to the second, third. So second, there's the second. So we are adding an additional key of black dash key. Let me just copy this. Okay, so to the second, third, this is the third. Second, third, fifth. So this is the fifth, sixth, and seventh. Okay, sixth and seventh. All right. So second, third, fifth, sixth, and seventh. All right. Okay, now copy the set of 7 key elements and paste 2 more sets into the keys div. Okay, so this is the keys div that we have. Okay, and we want to copy this. Okay, let's copy it, and I want to paste 2 more sets. Okay, so I'm just going to come here, paste this one like so, and then want to paste another set, so 2 more sets. Okay, all right, now what we want to do is we want to add a link element within your head element. So here we are in the head element now, so let's add a link element. So we add a link element like so, and we want to give it a real attribute. The value is going to be style sheet. Let's also give it an href attribute. Let's give it an href attribute whose value is also going to be .styles.css. So that's what we are using, /styles.css, which is the name of our styles.css file here. So for us to confirm if this is working, let's do this. So body, let's do background color. Let's give it a color of green. Let's see if this is working. All right, so this is working. So let's continue. All right, next up, browsers can apply default margin and padding values to specific elements. To make sure your piano looks great, you need to reset the box model. Okay, so we want to add an HTML rule. So we say HTML and we say box sizing, we say border box. Okay, all right, next up, now that you have reset the HTML box model, you need to pass that on to the element within as well. To do this, you can set the box sizing property to inherit, okay, which will target all the which will tell all targeted elements to use the same value as the parent element. Okay, you will also need to target the pseudo elements, which are special keywords that follow a selector. The two pseudo elements you'll be using are the before and after pseudo elements. The before pseudo element creates a pseudo element which is the first child of the selected element, while the after selector creates a pseudo element which is the last child of the selected element. These pseudo elements are often used to create cosmetic content, which you will see later in this project. Okay, so for now, create a CSS selector to target all elements with a star selector. Okay, so for us to target all elements, we would use what we call the star selector, like so, and then we are going to give it a box sizing property with a value of inherit. Okay, then we also want to include a pseudo element with before and after with before and after. So not sure how we're going to do this. Let me see. Oh, okay, so we need to bring a comma here, bring out two semicolons, okay, before and then after. Okay, right. Okay, so this is step 10. That will be the last one for this particular video. We will continue in the next one, which we will look at step 11 to 20. All right, so see you in the next one.